Hello and welcome to episode 6 of IOI Monthly, your live and direct live stream from IOI Interactive where we make Hitman. My name is Travis, I'm a community manager here, I'll be your host today, and our very special guest is Clemens.
Hello everyone, I'm Clemens, I'm community developer here at IOI Interactive.
Which we've heard many times, Clemens.
I know, it was just like really, backbone memory.
Yeah. So today's stream, obviously we said it's the 6th one that we've done. We do these every month, we invite people from the team. Today it's you, Clemens.
Yeah.
You've not been on IOI Monthly yet.
No, I've been sitting in the chair most of the time.
You're backstage pulling the strings, making sure everything's work. But today we have a very game-focused live stream. So we're looking at a lot of the things that our community are talking about. But one of the big things that we're going to show is the September roadmap.
Exactly.
So we haven't released that yet officially. So we're going to go through all of the content that's in there. There's a few surprises in there for most people.
Officially.
We're also going to talk about the something new, a new sort of video idea that you had. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll show you the first, I don't want to say episode, but first in the series, let's say. I don't know. We'll get to that. And then we're going to spend a bunch of time on questions. So right now we are set up with, we have Twitch chat open. If you're signing in and watching us on Mixer as well, welcome along. And for the first time, we are on Twitter.
Yes.
So if you're on Twitter, you follow us there at IOI Interactive. You see at the top of your timeline, we are live.
Hello, Twitter people.
So hello, Twitter people. Hello, Twitch. Hello, Mixer.
It's the first time, so I hope it works.
It looked like it was working to me. Yeah. So we're good to go. So we can see chat. So shoot your questions at us. But as Clemens is not in the backstage van, he's here today. Save the questions for when we ask for questions. Otherwise, we won't see them. So if you've already typed your questions in, then we haven't seen it yet. So we have a few questions.
Remember your questions.
And save them for later.
Yes, exactly.
But first things first, we usually do studio news.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we only have one thing this week, so let's pull that up and we can talk through that very briefly, what's going on. So this is generally, I know it's Hitman related, but it's not Hitman 2.
No.
Which is usually where we sort of make the line in the first section, which is what's going on in the studio. So last stream we had like No Clip came along, we showed part of that. Whereas this week or this month, this is actually the August stream.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So the much delayed by
highly anticipated
by a weekend, then a week, and then 2 minutes.
And 2 minutes. Very important 2 minutes.
3 delays to this live stream, but we're here for you. We are putting Hitman 1, the complete first season, part of Xbox Live Gold. So if you're an Xbox Live Gold subscriber, you can download the first 6 episodes, plus the bonus episodes, everything that came on like in the first release of the game.
Yeah.
So it's an important difference between the complete first season and the Game of the Year edition.
Obviously, yeah.
Here you get the complete first season. And it's the entire month that's available. Yeah. So through till somewhere near the end of September. I don't know the exact date, but don't leave it too late if you want to download it. Get on it. And
it's also a great opportunity to get the legacy pack.
Exactly. So how does that work if people don't know how that works?
So if you don't have Hitman 2 or have the legacy pack, you just redeem this Games with Gold, Hitman Season 2016, and then you download the Hitman 2 free starter pack.
Yeah.
And then you go into Hitman 1, redeem your legacy pack, and Bob's your uncle. And you play the remastered episodes within Hitman 2.
Exactly. And the cool thing there is that when we released Hitman 2, we obviously made a lot of cool new features, like being able to hide in bushes, and we made mirrors work, where you can actually get spotted. A lot of small, cool gameplay tweaks, including the briefcase, of course, as well. And we fit them back into the Season 1 locations. So basically, if you're coming in new on Xbox thinking, hey, this Hitman thing looks cool, we do encourage you to download the free starter pack for Hitman 2, as you said. And then basically you can play the Hitman 1 levels in the remastered versions.
And Hawke's Bay as well, so you got like...
Of course, and Hawke's Bay.
Got a tease for what's
to come in Hitman 2.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, studio news this month is Games with Gold.
We also got a new canteen.
Yes. We also have a new cantina supplier, so we're very well fed, very happy. But
good food.
We'll give you updates on the studio. What was lunch today?
It was butter chicken.
Butter chicken?
Yeah.
All good.
It was really good.
No more cantina talk. Let's talk Hitman 2.
Hitman 2.
All right. So Hitman 2 is... we're in September.
That's correct.
And we are going to go through, piece by piece, the content that's coming in the September roadmap.
Exactly.
So we can start straight away because these things came out yesterday.
They came out yesterday.
So let's rapid fire through this. This is Hitman 2 in September. Cool new way of showing you guys the artwork for this stuff. So you get all the information you need in one go, straight out the bat. So, first thing up is an escalation contract. This is like escalation month.
Yeah.
A lot of escalations
There's
this month.
a lot of escalations coming.
First one is in Woodton Creek.
Yep.
And what can you say about this one?
It's a funny one. They all are, I think. A lot of escalations. But this one, you have to infiltrate a garden party and take out the guards there. There's like undercover guards.
Yeah.
So this mission escalates, obviously. So you have to, of course, go in and do what you do best.
Okay, cool. And the other one that
there's a lot of civilians walking around, so there's it gets harder, obviously.
Yeah.
It's escalation, but it's I think it's quite funny.
Yeah, cool. The other one that we have that's already out now, so you can go in the game and play that today. The next one is actually really cool because it's the first escalation on our expansion pass content.
Yes.
So this is in the bank. That's New York. So you need the expansion pass to be able to play this. And I actually think that it's slightly like that one image doesn't tell the whole story.
No.
This is a really cool contract that you can kind of see 47 in the background. You have to take the.
You have to.
I mean, I guess spoilers if you haven't played the bank. So if you haven't played the bank, you don't want to see anything. Sorry, you saw the picture. Go back under your rock and come out in 30 seconds. You have to wear the
bunny suit.
Yes.
The bank robber suit.
The bank robber disguise.
Yeah.
And you can't change from that disguise. If you do, you fail.
Yeah.
So you're forced into that, and you have no loadout either.
It's
so you can't take anything with you.
No,
and then it really sort of kicks off. I know Bjarne, who people might remember from one of our first ever live stream, actually, about Hansu Port.
Yeah.
Bjarne was sort of the lead on this escalation. He had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah.
And I tried it and was like, dude, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's,
it is really hard.
Difficult. That's difficult.
And it also, if it's the first time you play the bank, I would recommend you play the bank first.
Yes, definitely.
It requires some map knowledge.
Yes, of course.
But it's really, really fun
Yeah.
and challenging. And Bjarne was like, remember him, is it out now? Is it out now? He was like a little kid.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. Excited for people to play it.
So those are the two that are already out. And then we start to look into the future a little bit. I'm just going to take a few seconds to check chat, and everything looks good. Bank was one of my favorite locations. I'm seeing cool. So basically, do it all in your suit. Yes, but you are the bank robber, and it's important to note that the bank robber is kind of a bank robber is not allowed in the bank, so you're hostile anywhere you go.
Yes.
So everybody is after you. So you've really got to be sort of dodging attention and causing distractions, staying out of sight. So it's not the same as doing it in your suit.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's jump to the next escalation. So we have another escalation. This one's really cool because it has an unlock attached to it.
Exactly.
So let's take a look at that.
Yeah. The dubious cohabitation.
Yes.
I like that. The dubious. I like the name of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not that hard to pronounce.
No, it's not scrupulousness.
Not scrupulous. Yeah. Never going back there.
So what is this one about? Why do you think, or why tell us why the Kashmirian is an unlock for this one? This suit.
It's because you I won't spoil too much of it, but you're helping out the assassin, the Kashmirian.
Okay.
And you are helping out in setting up some of the kills, and it's like the story is that you are like his helper.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, and of course when you complete, he will reward you with his the suit.
Yeah.
And it's a dope looking suit.
Yeah. So one sort of I guess like editor's note or something about the suit is that it's called the Kashmirian, but they're spelled slightly differently. That's intentional, not a typo. I thought it wasn't. Play on words by our very talented writers.
Yeah.
And it's sort of inspired by the Kashmirian. So it's not exactly the same suit. The Kashmirian, I think, has a hat on, and he has a slightly different badge or a flower or something. It looks a little bit different, and that's intentional so that players know that they're not wearing the same suit.
Yeah.
This is treated as a suit. You are not treated in the level as the Kashmirian. For gameplay reasons, we don't want to essentially give you a suit that is in a level already.
No.
Or something that could cause confusion. We sort of did it with the Spring Break Challenge pack, with the Flamingo.
Yeah.
You get a different Flamingo suit that looks like the Flamingo. It's blue and it has a t-shirt, but it's still a Flamingo, and we basically wanted to definitely steer clear of, can I do what the Flamingo can do? No. And with this one, can I go and do what the Kashmirian can do? No. You are 47 in his suit that's called Kashmirian.
Yeah, the 47 version of
just to make that clear.
suit.
But I agree with you. It's really cool. So as far as I know, you have to do all 3 stages to unlock it.
Yeah.
don't think you have to be Silent Assassin. I think you just have to complete it.
I don't think.
Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what the unlock criteria is.
I'm pretty sure you're right, but don't quote us, please.
But that's not the only unlock. There are more. We'll get to them.
Oh,
but we also have elusive targets.
Of course.
Yes.
And this is actually one of my. I remember this one really, really well from back in 2016.
Yeah.
The Blackmailer.
Okay, so he's back.
Yeah, he's back, and he's in Paris, and he's attending to the fashion show, and you can actually take him out on the catwalk. Yeah. And I really wanted to kill him with a huge, the roof, but it failed totally.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. Okay.
But now I'm back. Okay. I'm gonna do it now. This time around.
We'll have to live stream you do it.
No.
So another service note with our elusive targets. This is a legacy elusive target. So you do need the legacy pack to be able to play this one. It's in Paris, and yeah.
Yeah, there's not much to tell. He's out September 13th.
September 13th, which is a Friday. The thing I wanted to say was that the elusive targets that we have in September are for the legacy pack, for legacy locations. And we said, I think it was on the last stream, I just want to repeat it for the people that maybe don't know, is that we will have more Hitman 2 elusive targets after the resort has released. So just to make that clear again, I know a lot of people commented on it, saw it in the forum. Thanks to the people that are sort of spreading the message, helping us inform people. Mostly our cool moderators on Hitman Forum, Reddit, Discord, those sorts of places.
Doing a great job. Thank you guys. Shout out to you guys.
So next, this is something that you own.
Yes, so this is what I'm
tell us about featured contracts this month.
Featured contract is based on this month's theme, which we haven't talked about yet.
No,
it's
we can do that now.
Fierce Rivalry.
Yeah. Rivalry. It's a tongue twister on a Friday. Twister.
Yeah.
Fierce Rivalry.
Yes.
So in the content roadmap that we put out, what feels like ages ago, a few months ago, this was called Rivals.
Yeah.
And we sort of beefed it up. It's called Fierce Rivalry. That sort of lines in with some of the content that we have with, the Kashmirian is maybe a rival of 47, maybe you help him.
Yeah.
Some of the other characters we have as well, maybe they're your rival. And featured contracts, they're also leaning on that theme as well.
Exactly. And so we came up with the name for this themes as a competitive edge.
Yeah.
Again, it's an open-ended theme because we want people to be creative.
Yeah.
They are creative. We want them to don't feel that they have any ties to do like in a specific way.
Yeah. Okay.
So competitive edge can be. What is a competition to you? What is the competitive edge? The picture is very, very good. Like this is 47 staring at himself.
Mm. Sort of psyching himself up.
Psyching himself up. Or is he his own competitive edge?
So we don't want to do, let's be honest, we don't want to do what we did before. One of the times we did Fiberwire.
Oh,
as the themed featured contracts.
Yeah.
And basically all the contracts then were about killing with Fiberwire.
And I mean...
And it's an obvious thing to say now, but at the time we were, I think, celebrating that we had the measuring tape was an unlock you could get.
Yeah.
And then, the feedback from our players, rightly so, and very fair, was that, well, all the featured contracts kind of feel the same. There's not much variety here. It's maybe not the best group. So we were very, very keen to make the theme for the featured contracts very sort of open to interpretation.
Exactly.
So it could be that you think competitive, hey, there's a race in Miami.
Yeah.
Who could win that race? Maybe you have, like, even as far as the guy who owns the shop, he's in competition with the other guy that's in the shop down the road, and he wants to try and poison somebody.
Exactly.
You can really use your imagination to come up with these ideas. And then we sort of make them all mix together.
Exactly. You can also go into the word edge and like you want to push people
over the edge. Or like a knife, sharp edge, something like that.
Exactly. There's so many different ways. So I really look forward to it. And right after this live stream, I'm gonna post on Hitman Forum where you can put in your feature contracts.
There is a comment from Mullet Pride, which I'll chuck at you and might make you laugh. He says, I want to congratulate Urban for his featured contract. So if people don't know, Clemens is pretty much the guy for featured contracts in terms of coming up with the theme name, with making the post on the forum, gathering the hundreds of submissions that we get.
Yeah, that's...
Trying to whittle them down, playing them as well, trying to make sure that the ones that go in are sort of the best of the best as much as possible.
Yeah.
And just to say that, it's... you put a lot of time into it.
I do.
You can't catch all the best ones.
No, I'm doing my best.
You get good feedback on every month, right?
Exactly, and I read all the feedback I get.
Yep.
So if people say, this month was too something, I will like, okay, I'll try to steer away from that and like to make the contracts better and better.
Yep. Cool.
And I also gonna say that the people creating the contracts there's so many good contracts, and it's really hard to pick.
Yeah.
I could easily pick maybe 20.
Yeah. So we also did up the number.
We did.
So generally now we're aiming for 10.
From the community.
Yeah.
They were like tired of only 5. Like, come on, give us 10. And
now it's 10.
Now it's 10.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
So cool. What is next? It looks like the blackmailer is in line. No, so we need to bump him off. There we go. What's next, Clemens?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
This is also a very, very funny unlock.
Fine.
The emetic grenade, when you play the Merle Revelation escalation.
Yeah.
You play as the shaman. Again, you have this strict costume, and you have to kill your followers, including the annoying tourists. So you have a fun... It sounds weird to say fun, but it's you can play as a small town called leader and wreak havoc.
Yeah.
And reward you with the emetic grenade, where you can actually, as I called it in the roadmap, I called it the throwable, throw-upable grenade.
The throwable, throw-upable. We were talking about tongue twisters. You're making it difficult for yourself. Okay.
And it's really funny to play around with, because it's just funny to make the NPCs hurl.
Yeah. So, have you played around with this a little bit?
The grenade, yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of like, is it anyone that's caught in the radius? Yeah. And they all run off to find places to throw up, I guess?
Yeah, you
can cause chaos with it. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
We'll see in the
Clemens trailer.
In the Clemens trailer. I'll show you.
So, there was a follow-up from Mullet Pride saying it wasn't criticism of Urban. We know. So, Urban is one of our moderators on Hitman Forum, newly promoted. Well-known in the Hitman community and well-known at IO for sort of being a very creative player, for creating elusive target kills. We actually owe him a medal from E3.
We do owe him a medal.
Because our creative director was on stage talking about how our players these crazy sort of... do things that we never thought of being possible in the game. And one of the examples was an elusive target kill that Urban did. So if you don't know who Urban is now, he just had his own little 30 seconds of fame.
Homage for him.
And he's keeping Hitman Forum in check too.
Yeah.
So
he makes some of the Hitman levels look like crazy machines. You know that? Remember that old game where you do a lot of chain of events that
like Mousetrap almost.
Exactly.
Yeah. So cool. Shout out Urban. Shout out Hitman Forum as well. Right. What's next, Clemens? Let's keep rolling.
This is one of my favorite elusive targets.
Let's go.
Coming up.
Right. The Angel of Death.
Etta Davis.
Okay.
She's the first and only one I got Silent Assassin on a live stream. Remember that?
No.
I blew her up by tampering with the scooter, and you were like, "You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it." It was the most stressful hour of my life.
I don't remember it,
but we
cool.
did it.
Okay.
Silent Assassin.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. So
good times. So I have a good
Clemens
memory
is happy with this.
Of this old evil woman.
Yeah.
So 27, she's coming out.
Okay. So September 27, the Angel of Death. And then before we go to the next thing, we need to talk about it a little bit more in detail. So all of the content that players just saw, or the viewers, everyone who's watching, everything that we just went through for September is available for all Hitman 2 players, and then the elusive targets, you need Legacy Pack as well. If you don't know what Legacy Pack is, you can look that up, and we can help you download it. So what we're going to talk about next is the expansion pass content for the month.
Yes.
For September. And September brings a close to the expansion pass content.
That's great.
So we're releasing the final 3 pieces of expansion pass content in September, starting with the next special assignment mission. There will be 2 of them released in September. The first one is called A Silver Tongue. And this takes you to Miami, where you have a new target. And the interesting thing about the next 2 special assignments is that they are linked together now.
Yeah.
So there is I would hesitate to call it a story, because that makes it sound like it's much bigger than it is, if we're being honest. But they are linked together, and they do have narrative overlap. So you sort of do one thing in one mission, and then as a direct continuation, you go do another thing in the next one. We'll talk a lot more about our expansion pass content for the month in our next live stream, which is coming in about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks' time, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So it's later in September, we'll go into that. But as you can see, it's September 24th. That's the first special assignment. We also, again, as I said, there was 2. So if we pull the second one up, we can talk a little bit about that as well. So a Silver Tongue in Miami is your first one.
Magic.
And then a Bitter Pill in Whittleton Creek is the next one. They link together. There are more level design sort of opportunities, and changes that have happened compared to the previous 2 special assignment missions. And again, we'll talk more about these once.
And show more of them.
Of course. We just they're coming in the roadmap. You have or will see the roadmap in full very, very shortly. And we'll talk in more detail about the special assignments, but also the sort of the headline act for September, which people maybe weren't expecting, but we have a entirely new sandbox location that's coming out. So we're going to the Maldives for a brand new mission. We're going to Haven Island, or more specifically, Agent 47 is. This is what we previously called the resort. So 47 is going to go there. And again, more details will come later on, but so far I've only had a very small little screen that was on the content highlights roadmap.
Exactly, just a palm tree.
Just a palm tree. Now we're giving you a little bit of the water, a little bit of the sand, a few more trees. You can see the beautiful blue sky. This is about sort of a tropical luxury island where, you sort of really want to be there. It's fun to play there. And I remember when we had the stream with Meta.
Yeah.
So this was a few months ago. We talked about the other sandbox location in the expansion pass, which is the bank, about how that's very sort of atmospheric and moody and dark in the sense, you're in a bank and it's raining outside, and here you're outside. It's very open. You can see, like for miles or kilometers, depending where you're from, with all of the water and there's people fishing. There's people on jet skis, all sorts of stuff.
A lot of people on, like literally just having the time of their life.
But of course, without saying anything more, you're there for a reason, and maybe there's obviously more than meets the eye to Haven Island. So on our next live stream, we encourage you to tune in. We'll detail this extensively with some of the people that helped to make it, to really give a sense of what went into it and why it's going to be sort of a really, really fantastic way to sort of round off the Hitman 2 expansion pass. Yes. So
that's gonna be episode 7. I'm up there.
Yeah. So IOI Monthly episode 7 is where we'll detail all of that. Cool. So let's look at the entire September roadmap. What does that look like? If we see it, how people usually see it all at once. So this is what you found, what you can see now. Is pretty much everything laid out for you. So that is September.
That's your go-to
in Hitman
map
2.
if you want to know what to do in September.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things coming.
Yeah.
A lot of fun things and a lot of cool things also for the expansion pass owners. So it's gonna be a really good month.
Yep. So escalation contracts, 2 unlocks, 1 suit, 1 item, and we have Haven Island, which is our new sandbox location for expansion pass owners. Really excited about getting that into people's hands, seeing how they receive that. And it's a fully fledged level.
It's really hard to talk about without saying too much. There's so much I want to say.
Exactly. And I think the best way to say it is that we're really excited about it.
Yeah.
We're really excited to get it out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool things that we will talk about very shortly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things people have been asking for in there.
Yeah, and it's just gorgeous.
So it's great. One thing that I do want to touch on.
Yeah.
Is actually no, we'll save that till later. All
right.
So we're good to go. So 2 extra things there. All of the content on the right-hand side, clearly labeled, clearly dated. You can see that. Oh, of course, we've got 2 screens here. But we also have IOI Monthly, which we will do our absolute best not to delay.
Yeah, that's
it's a soft promise.
Yeah.
And then we also have a game update. So that lands on September 24th, the same date that you'll get your hands on Haven Island, which we didn't mention at all, the release date. So
shit.
Haven Island, September 24th. There you
Bang.
go. Let's pretend we just said that for the first time. Alongside the 2 special assignments. Yes. Cool. There we go.
Yeah.
And the game update.
Yeah.
And that game update is a nice... No, not that yet. Not that yet. Let's roll VT. So... Before we, I'm jumping back and forth here. All the excitement got to me.
Producing.
calm myself down. September roadmap, we always do a trailer.
That's correct.
To introduce and kind of show players more of what the content is.
Yes.
So the static image is one thing, but having you talk about it and show it is much more exciting. So,
hope so.
Whenever you're ready, if you want to introduce what this is, let's roll it.
I'm gonna give you the little introduction. This is the September roadmap. We started out in very cold and stormy recordings, and we did this. It's really good.
Yeah.
So disclaimer: there's no subtitles on this one. Just FYI.
Nope.
But it's there's subtitles on the YouTube video coming later today. So give it a look. Hello everybody, this is Clemens, community developer at IOI Interactive. And hold on. Guys, come on. Seriously, you promised something exotic, something nice. This is cold. You know what? Screw this. Let's go to the Maldives.
Much better. On September 24, all expansion pass owners are going to the hot and sunny Maldives. To be more precise, Haven Island, the best place on earth to disappear. In this expansion pass drop, you will embark on a new mission with new targets and new unlocks. But that's not all. All expansion pass owners will also get access to 2 brand new special assignments, a silver tongue and a bitter pill. The Dalton dissection. You're going back to the bank in this escalation. You'll need to suit up as the bunny and take out your targets. But be careful, because you can't bunny hop out of this one. The covert dispersal. There's a garden party in Whittleton Creek and you're invited. Your mission is to take care of the undercover officers at the party. But please, try to do this in style, will ya? We don't need you to become the biggest party pooper in town. The dubious cohabitation. You have to help the infamous assassin, the Kashmirian, become his somewhat buddy, and he'll reward you with something you wanted in a long time. I think you know what it is. The Kashmirian suit. Legacy elusive target, the Blackmailer. On Friday the 13th, the Blackmailer will be back in Paris. Lurk in the shadows and give him a Friday the 13th he'll never forget. The Merle Revelation. Ever dreamed of being a small town cult leader? Well, now you'll somewhat be able to live out that fantasy. In this escalation, you'll need to become the mighty shaman and take out your targets, shaman style, even the annoying tourists. And when complete, you'll unlock the grenade you always wanted for your loadouts. The Magic Grenade. It's great, but try not to puke. Legacy elusive target, the Angel of Death. The retired nurse Etta Davis is back in Marrakesh. You'll have 10 days to make the Earth a better place by taking her out. And by taking her out, we don't mean for dinner. And as always, we also have IOI Monthly, featured contracts created by our community, and a game update. As you can see, September is a crazy month in Hitman 2. But now, pack your bags, and I'll see you on the sandy shores of Haven Island.
All right.
That's good.
So that's the September roadmap trailer.
Yes, it's coming out later today, so if you want to rewatch it, I will. Hope you will.
Yeah.
Just as a disclaimer, I saw in the chat that people thought that I was sick. I wasn't sick.
No. So there was some sickness, without saying who, for why the live stream was delayed. So we did delay the stream. If you're watching and thinking, why are they talking about it being delayed all the time? This is the last time we'll talk about it.
I get the link, standing in the cold water. It was so cold.
Yeah.
But
that's not what got you ill. That would be ironic, but that wasn't what it was.
That was not the illness.
No. So we were checking chat as you went through that, at least on Twitch. Seems to be positive. Very cool. Great. No concerns so far. Awesome. So one thing we wanted to spend the time on doing before we get to our next video, which is a sort of more, people like to watch IOI Monthly, I think, because they get insights from the team.
Yeah.
And we knew that this month we didn't have anyone, with respect to you, to sit down and sort of talk about what they've made in the game.
Exactly.
So we have that for next month with the resort, but we still wanted that delivery of something that you can't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
And so our next trailer is a lengthy one, so get some popcorn. We're not going to run it just yet, though, just to sort of let you know what's coming up.
Also introduce it before we started, so people.
Absolutely. So you'll know exactly what it is. But before we get to that,
yes,
I just wanted to spend the time because normally on IOI Monthlies we go through the upcoming release notes. and we talk about what's coming up, but that's too soon. We'll do that next month for September. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go back to August, and we're going to look at the August update, and we're going to go through the known issues that are listed there, and some of the other issues that we see players talking about, and sort of give a status update, let's say, state of the game. Relatively brief, but I think what we'll also do is in future updates, when we have known issues, we will try our best to put a small line about the current status of them, where we are with them. If we know that they're fixed, when you can expect the fix to come in. We haven't done that, and I think it's probably would help us to do so. So I want to go through some of the sort of behind the scenes of our known issues, where they are, what's happening. A bunch of them are fixed, so I'm just going to go through in order that they are in the August roadmap and talk very briefly about each one. So the first one is that we have PC players experiencing 0x8, all the zeros, and related crashes. It's been in the release notes for a few months now. And basically, at this point, I'm talking internally with the team about where we are with that, what progress we've made, what progress we'll continue to make, how we can communicate that to you. So I don't have any actual good news about like, fix this here. The one thing that we also have in the release notes anyway, so you probably know if you've checked it, is using DX12 seems to help it. And I know there's people on the forum that are also aiding others that have this issue with ways around it, ways to fix it.
There's a very good thread on Hitman forum if you're having this issue by hardware. It's really, really good, and he there's a lot of troubleshooting that he will help you experience.
So keep. I think the important thing is that it's not a forgotten conversation.
Oh, it's definitely not.
It's just not when we have new information at this point, and something we'll get to, and that's where we are with that. So feedback to all of this is welcome, but we're not going to spend too long going through it because I appreciate that not every issue is important to everyone. But as a whole, where we are with our fixes is probably an important topic.
Yeah. Definitely.
So the next thing on the list is a very specific thing that you can have problems when you drop items needed for specific exits in contracts mode. So this is things like in House Built on Sand in Marrakesh. If you pick up I think it's a wrench. No, not a wrench. What's it called? A crowbar.
Yeah.
That crowbar then unlocks an exit that you can't see otherwise. So what's happening is when you pick up those items and then drop them, you auto fail the mission. And my understanding is that's because the game currently doesn't know the status of those items. So it might be that it's sort of got stuck out of reach, or it doesn't know that you have it.
No.
So it just fails it because it doesn't think you can complete the mission.
No.
So basically where we are with that is that we need a solution on it. The team are looking at how they can fix it. It's still ongoing, and we need to decide we either live with it as it is, or we make a note somewhere that says these items, we disable those exits in contracts mode creation. I don't know what the solution is, but the team are working on putting one together. The next thing, the Summer Suave suit, and there's another one in there. There's another suit that when you play contracts mode, it's not considered a suit. That's fixed, and that's coming next update. I just wanted to drop into chat just to see if there was anything feedback. No, okay, that's fixed.
Remember, keep your questions. We'll answer questions later.
For sure. Then we have the slightly humorous thing that I thought was good about basically in the bank you open a door and it sort of goes to this what people have called the void. We actually got in touch with Hawkins PD. They fixed it. Yeah. It's coming in the next update. So that will be fixed in September.
They were nice.
They were cool.
They're cool.
Then we have area discovery challenges. So this is where you basically discover all the areas, and they don't unlock properly. And I think I've confused things here. I actually don't know the status on that. But the thing I do have on is we have an issue where I've confused them because they're very similar. We have an issue where if you're trying to earn trophies or mastery levels, I think it is, but you get the last bit of that XP on a bonus mission or a Patient Zero mission, then the trophy or the challenge doesn't trigger. And that's caused by the fact that in Hitman 1, those missions didn't carry XP, and somehow in the process of carrying that over from Hitman 1 to Hitman 2, the XP is earned, and it's sort of, you've technically earned what you should earn, but the game isn't registering it, basically. That is what's fixed. Next, we have this thing where it's possible right now to earn the Silent Assassin rating when you tranquilize someone using the Calmer, and then you immediately shoot them. When guards find the body, you don't lose Silent Assassin. That's not currently fixed, and an ongoing investigation is still going on for that. How exactly we fix that. And then this is what I would call the big one. So we had a lot of feedback on this one. The Silent Assassin rating gets lost when a body that has been knocked out by an accident is then found. The short story is that it's fixed for next update. The long version, and I think this is really important.
It's a very good one.
So this is like behind the scenes of patch fixes to some degree. This is not the full story, this is part of the story. So the reason that this happened was that this is like a full story. So I explained
It's a good story.
I explained the issue. Silent Assassin rating gets lost when a knocked out accident body is found. So that was reported as a bug. And initially when the team saw it, they said, well, that's working as it's supposed to work. Because if I take you back in time, all the way back, go back to April, when we did the Silent Assassin rules, we had this new set of rules that you needed to abide by to get Silent Assassin. And one of them, and I quote, says, so you get the Silent Assassin rating if you complete all objectives and exit the mission without one of the following 7 things happening. And it says, an NPC finds a dead or pacified body. Accident kills, and poison kills do not fail this event. So basically what's happening right now with the accident KOs is what was supposed to happen back in April. But it didn't happen. So when we introduced the rules, players basically got used to the fact that an accident KO was allowed. And then in, I think it was 250 or 240, then that was sort of, as part of another change or fix, that was reverted back to how it should be. So as far as we could see it, we had the new rules, and the Silent Assassin rules were fitting in with those. They were sort of aligned. But then players were like, well, hang on, this isn't how it hasn't been working the last few months. So what we did was, we had a discussion about it, and we decided that the way it's been working the last few months sort of makes sense. And players have got used to it, and everyone was happy with it. So what we should do is, even though it wasn't the original intention, we should keep it how it had been for the last few months. So that was the ambition. That's part of the fix. So to do that, we needed to get the AI team involved. So we asked them for help, and they said, okay, well, what we need to do is we need to look at what happened since April until players started reporting that it was not working as it had done for the last few months anymore. And they looked into all of the different systems and all of the changes that had happened. And there's not actually that many, because it's only pretty much what would it have been, the April, May, June, July, a few updates. Not that many in terms of how those systems work. The changes to those systems were not that extensive over that time. And basically it was something that we would never, that was very sort of left of center. Nothing seemed, like everything seemed to be as it should be. And then eventually it was found what the issue was. And it was something that was, and again, to simplify a lot of hard work that people do, was where there's certain things in the game that are running that sort of tell the game what the state of the NPCs are once they've been pacified. And this issue somehow was flipping accident kills or pacifications as non-accident kills or pacifications. So it was somehow tracking the wrong one. And this was only exposed as a result of a change that was for something else. Basically, it's now fixed. It's now fixed, but I just wanted to talk about why these things happen and how we get to those places, and also how, you know, it took a little bit longer. But the easy fix was, it's working as it should do. Let's just go back to that. But we decided that because our players thought that it was working well in the last few months, even though that wasn't the way it was supposed to be, we wanted to find a way to get it to work properly in that state. So it meant sort of like double work through through very little fault of our own.
Of course.
So yes, I'm sure there'll be comments to that, and I hope
there will be.
I hope it made sense, and I hope I didn't misspeak anywhere. And I'm very happy on the forum or Reddit to sort of try and embellish that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just a story to tell, at least,
like how the
what's
process,
going on.
Yeah, exactly. Also
to
the
some
process.
degree.
Yeah.
To some degree. Also, one thing I want to point out is that I'm not blaming the AI team. The AI team fixed the issue, and they were the ones that were able to identify what was happening. So I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. It's just the process involved the AI team.
Yeah. Just
cool. Next, because this has gone on longer than I wanted it to. Fire extinguishers don't explode when an explosive is detonated on them. We don't have a current ETA on a fix, but we do think we know what's causing it.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a strange one, in that we think it's affected by the number of things that are within range of the potential explosion that could be affected. We think. It needs more investigation until we're confident of a fix. But the right people are looking into what we can do. Next thing is, I think I added these in because these were not in the release notes. Explosions on doors are inconsistent. Yes, they are. Sometimes you put an explosive in the middle of the door and it works. Sometimes on the bottom of the door and it works. Some explosives don't do anything to doors. The investigation is ongoing. We know about it. It will be in the known issues for next month. And if anything changes between now and then, we'll update that too.
Of course.
Then three things actually that came out of the last update is the Hold My Hair challenges. Basically where you use emetic poison, NPCs don't always go to a toilet, so you can't drown them, they go to the bin. We know about this. It needs investigation. It's something that has just come up recently. I know it's been reported before, but it wasn't quite so... sometimes it was, they don't always go to the toilet. Now they rarely seem to.
Yeah. It's hard to get.
Yeah. Then we have the Mission Mastery Challenge in Marrakesh. That's frustrating a lot of people.
Yeah.
We actually had that as a fix, but the fix we put in place didn't have the impact we wanted it to. So we're gonna, I've written here, we'll dance the dance again.
Yeah.
So it's fixed for 270 again, and we keep our eyes on that. And the other fix that we had in there that also wasn't a fix was the unlockable shotgun in the bank is supposed to be concealable, but when you start the location with it, 47 just straight up has it.
Yeah.
So
there's some.
Congrats on the YouTube views.
Yeah, there's some
those
really
of you that
funny
made
videos
trailers.
though. The one with the Paris shot
So
showing the invitation.
So basically 47 wasn't concealing the shotgun he was supposed to conceal. That I think that might be fixed. But the people I need to talk to weren't in the building last week when I was trying to get the answers from them. So there will be notes about that in the September update, one way or the other.
It's a little confusing because
going backwards and forwards.
Some extended delayed. But
so I know that was a long piece talking about known issues, but it's something that we want to be open about.
Yes.
And if we're completely honest, we haven't been entirely open about the known issues in the sense of we haven't been putting in status updates on them in the release notes. We just sort of had a list of things that we know about, and we never really talked about what the status is.
Okay.
So that's a current status as of a few days ago, where those things are. Hope it's interesting. If there's not, and I know that chat is probably full of, what about this issue, or what about my issue?
Yeah.
We don't put every issue in there, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But
we cannot put everything in.
But we're going to be open about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to just sort of bring our players with us. And like we even say in the release notes, if you've written it on the Reddit or the forum, it's more than likely that we know about it. We just can't reply to every single thing about it. Cool. Release notes are done. Clemens, let's talk about something else. Help.
Yes.
What's next?
What's
something
next?
cool. Something cool. Let's take a breather.
Okay.
So we talked earlier about wanting dev insights.
Yes.
So we're trying something new. You're trying something new.
Yes.
What is it? Tell people about it, and then let's get into it.
Yes. So basically, it was we had these talks about how could we show different departments within the building and within IO Interactive.
Yeah.
Show how is stuff made, and after the No Clip documentary, people was like very wanting to tell more. So we started this. I don't know. It's called series yet. It's only one episode.
Yeah.
I call it the Meet the Team.
Yeah.
The first one I made was with Nick and Aske, our cinematic artists.
Yeah.
And the idea is for them to tell the story of how they create stories. And it can be in the future also the sound guys. How do they make sound, and the developers, different artists and stuff. All of us. telling the story of what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. So I made this first episode with Nick and Aske, and they tell a story about how they create briefings and in-game cinematics, and like show the process and just being them.
I think that's also an important thing. So as part of us as a company, I guess, sort of embracing the fact that we are an independent company, that we are, we do things in our own way, and sort of, I think it's really interesting the feedback we've got, which you touched on, that when we have people on the live stream to talk about how they do things, that we can sort of let that come through, and sort of, you grab the camera,
basically
you took all of your like video editing and filming skills, grabbed those guys and said, hey, I wanted you to talk about how you do your job, what do you do that's cool, just have a chat with us, let's go. No PR, no
PR,
press release, go.
So they're saying whatever they want to say.
Yes.
And it's just, it has to be very like laid back, and it has to be them, not corporate them. It has to be Nick and Aske telling what they do. So it's basically, there's no interviewer. I'm not saying anything.
Nope.
I'm just, I placed the camera and sat them down with the mic and show me what you do.
So that's our intro. It's about 10 minutes. So it'll take us to near the end of the stream minus some questions. We started a bit late. Maybe we go 10 more minutes longer.
That's fine.
We'll see how that goes. So 10 minutes, meet the team. This is the first one. It'll get better. It's already fucking cool. I think we should let it speak for itself. We can get a coffee and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
And sit back and enjoy and listen to these beautiful guys talk about what they do here at IO Interactive.
Hello, my name is Aske. I work as a guest janitor / cinematic artist / motion graphic artist for IO Interactive, creating the coolest game ever, Hitman.
I'm not sure I can do a follow on that. My name is Nick, and I'm also a cinematic artist. Together
but you're not a guest janitor. That's only me.
Together we are a small team that do the motion graphics for the briefings.
Should maybe lay it all out. Nick has been here since season 1 doing the briefings. I've been here since season 2 doing briefings. And then once we started the DLC package, our beautiful and new director Cosmo Wallace pushed us towards doing in-game cutscenes, and so that's what we tried to achieve.
Quite a quest to figure it out, because it's a big process to do like in-game cinematics but it turned out cool. I hope you guys like it.
A good example is like the first hurdle we had was like we couldn't do like audio, so we couldn't do people talking and render that out from engine, because usually when you see stuff in a game, you usually see it like in real time. But the briefings are a menu-based video, so we had to pre-render a lot from the engine. And so one of the things was that you basically couldn't render out audio and facial expressions.
As a way in, I'll tell the pilot to turn the plane around.
It was like we had those the facial expressions that weren't queued up to audio, so the render team had to kind of basically do that, fixing that issue, and that's like one of the small things we encounter basically every day, where we very much rely on like the entire house for help. Because it might be animation, it might be environment, it might be lighting,
and everybody is involved. So that's also why we try to think of it as a small RPG game. We go from one wizard to another wizard. We get pointed to a new quest, and that's how we solve.
Yeah.
So we should say that we have the writers. They come in. give
small
us
part.
Yeah, small part. No, they come in, give us a script. We look through it, and like kind of break it down into blocks, and then we try to do a storyboard, and we try to visualize like how could we show the coolest way possible. Like how do we show the story in 1 minute?
Yeah.
Without it being too complicated.
Yeah.
So we try to break it down, talk to our director, and sort out the angles, symbology, and all that. And if there's something that's too hard to illustrate, we can go back to the writer and hey, can you change this to something else? So that's a big part of it.
I think we learned a lot from season 2, the briefings, because that's obviously what we did back then. That sounds like it was ages ago. Was like doing these abstract visualization of a backstory. Because when you do a backstory for a level, you don't necessarily have the backstory that's written within the certain level. So one example is Raccoon. We did that recently. We had this traveling story of 47 and Lucas Gray going from Isle of Scale, where we left off in season 2, moving to New York, and this travel from Isle of Scale to New York had a lot of different places where we had to go, and all of these places we basically had to like build these scenes. So and basically what we did is like we use old stuff like a library, and there's like an airstrip scene where we're using this basically just in Colorado, where we move off to the distance, and then we start placing a plane and placing the racetrack from Miami as a landing strip, and
and the
it is a lot of
small
like
island they take the plane from. I think that's the rocks from Isle of Scale.
Yeah.
And the backdrop is maybe something. Is it
It's
Colombia
like
or something?
Yeah. Sunset.
We steal
something.
we can.
Yeah.
So.
Basically steal from the library.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone. And then we usually move on to again these abstract visualizations. Raccoon is again a good example. We have a lot of talk about like Providence and why is Athena Savalas this evil woman. That can be a little bit hard to explain within the level. Also because we want to keep stuff secret and not reveal too much before we move into the level. So it's basically like telling a story of why you're here, but also leaving a lot for the players to experience themselves. Because you could end up just like showing the entire level, and that probably wouldn't be too... that probably wouldn't be too good for the player to like have everything sorted out. Yeah, I have the entire map now. Let me go play and get no surprises at all.
Okay, so the next step is after we blocked out the storyboard, we're gonna do rough animations, and that is called an animatic. So that's maybe just early model of a 3D stuff, very crude, but just to get a flow of the movie and get
camera movement right, and
so before you do it all nice and shiny, you just want to do get the right flow of the movie. So you can. You don't want to spend too much time on like creating something that looks incredibly beautiful, and then you figure out, the cameras were all that
shit.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, or just like poorly done and doesn't add up to the story, and
and
totally.
that does happen sometimes. Like we do a scene and then you look at it and like you have to step back, and then
it hasn't
it's
happened to me yet, but
I need to go now.
Exactly. No. Usually do the animatic, then we start like texturing, lighting, blocking up the entire cinematic, basically, like very crude scenes. So if we have a scene with 47 and Lucas Gray meeting up, there's no animations on him. It's basically like the two models in T-pose, moving up to each other, having a conversation, and then moving off again. And then once that we're getting closer and closer, animation starts doing their magic. And then once you get big thank you again to the animators.
And once you get closer, like when you get it in there, it's very crude, and then you know, then you can start chopping it up, and then that's also where cinematics director comes in, and he's like, because he knows, he can see that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's iteration. You can just see it once the animation gets more flushed. You can see the flow of the movie, and
it's also again very, very important, I think, to support the director basically. So Cosmo very often has a good idea of what the story is about, because he obviously was in on writing it along. He didn't write it, but he's in on the process of creating these stories for this elaborate universe. And in connection and alongside him, we start blocking up a lot, basically the entire movie, with very crude animations and so on. And then you start polishing, because like you need the basic story to be there before you can start polishing, I guess.
I actually say 20% of the production is almost like making it look nice and polishing up, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that's like a small insight to I guess what at least the two of us do at the cinematic department.
Yeah, a very shortened down version of the process of doing a cinematic.
Yeah, and again, like super nice to have
it's
open
cool
help.
that you have a place where there's so many wizards at one.
It was
spot.
a quest. It is a quest of creating great briefings and cinematics.
Mic drop.
Oh, sorry, Clemens.
All right, so there we go. That was our first sort of, let's call it an episode. That's the first episode of Meet the Team. Our sort of way of telling you through, giving the guys here, the people on the team here, the chance to talk about their job directly to you, about what they're doing, what's happening. And one thing I think we should mention and note is that one was sort of we specifically asked them not to talk about the Haven Island, trying to not use code names, the Haven Island briefing and the cinematics for that. We thought it was too much spoilerish, but still having them talk about the process would be really great. So officially, thanks to you for making the damn thing, and also Nick and Asger for their time.
For the time.
Yeah.
We spent a couple of hours together and just recording and talking. And these guys are really fun to work with, and they are so hilarious. So we had a lot of laughs, and it was really good. And I'm glad that I really like it, and I think it's a good format, and I'm looking forward to make even more of these. Yeah. So it's so good.
So the ambition is to try and see how many of them we can put onto live streams. Yeah. We are also thinking that maybe if we have a guest, then we can have them sort of also have more people. Yeah. In the hour of the live stream talking about Haven Island or escalation contracts, whatever it is that gets made.
Exactly.
So there's more Meet the Team coming. Feedback is of course welcome. It seemed good in chat, so that's great to see.
And it will be uploaded to YouTube later today.
Yes, of course.
Start next week.
Yes.
So you got a grand premiere here on IOI Monthly. Remember that.
Nice surprise. So last thing that we want to do for this month. So strange because it's not the month. This is still the August one. For the stream, this edition episode of the stream, is to do questions. So we do only have Twitch chat up right now. So if you're watching on Twitch, now is the time to throw all of your questions at us. We have a few that we'll start while you chuck them at us, and we'll also kind of move our chat here so we can both look and try and catch what's going on there. So I'm looking at some of the things that I've seen people talking about. So there was something about so from Cam the Chest on Reddit, his question was, what was the reason for changing some of the elements in Hawke's Bay? So in the last update, outside of the patch notes, what happened was there were a few sort of level design changes that happened in Hawke's Bay. The first level in Hitman 2. There was like some lights added.
Questions over here.
And we had there was a car that was added, I think. No, there was an agility option and car and the objective changed as well, like the description. So the basic reason for that is that it was something that we had been meaning to do for quite a while, to make the first experience for new players a slightly more guided one, based on a lot of internal feedback that we had. But they were never really a priority change. There was always things that were ahead of them. But then when we started to make some new content for Hawke's Bay, the level designer that was responsible for making that, the short version of the story is that they sort of implemented those changes as part of that. So it's sort of bundled in together quite nicely. And it was for that sort of reason that they slipped through the release notes, because they were listed as coming with that change, but they were actually for the level as a whole, rather than the new content. So that's just some background into why that happened. There is questions, as always. Daryl on Hitman Forum is asking about Hitman 1 escalations and challenge packs. Where are they? Where are they in Hitman 2?
Good question.
So where are they? Do you know where they are? Well, I'll tell you where they are. They're coming up next month. So not September. Next month in October. So we're going to have the first selection, just a selection of Hitman 1 escalation contracts.
Yeah.
So that means the 5 stages. We chose some of the more favorable ones that players like across a variety of locations, and we have adjusted them to our monthly themes, so they will match. Same for challenge packs. Challenge packs from Hitman 1 are coming into Hitman 2, assuming you have Legacy Pack to play them and complete them, to earn the unlocks, and then they will be added to your inventory. So
people are saying, finally, Legacy escalations are back.
Yes, we always said that we had a plan for them.
Yeah.
So the plan is starting October, that we will release the best of the best, sort of a cherry-picked selection of the ones that we are happy to put into the game. Yes. Any questions coming through on Twitch?
There's someone asking if this stream will be archived. Yes, it will be archived.
Yes. Cool. Very easy questions to answer.
A lot of questions coming in.
A lot of questions?
Yeah.
Let's try and take some from... I'm leaning into the microphone, so I'm getting very...
Hardware is asking about the 0x803 issue.
Yeah. So rewind 20 minutes, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That's the short answer for that.
Rewind about 20 minutes and we talk about that issue. Hardware.
We've even got a shout out, I think, from Clemens. So.
Yeah.
So there's a question I can... Well, it's not a question, but Pro Stowe is just shouting, Bangkok, elusive target. Yeah, that's also on the horizon. Not September. And I think it's October. But not entirely sure. Is there a fixed plan for the aim toggle glitch? Yes, there is. I think it's also next month. So if you don't know what that glitch is, I'm not going to tell you, because then you'll do it. Yeah. But 487 can hold up the bank in amusing ways. So finger guns.
It's quite funny, yeah.
So yes, that's planned. There was a question about, this is from Kevin Rudd, who asked the question everywhere. About there was a lot of questions, let's be honest. So what we do with questions is we sort of cherry pick them, or we pick some. We're not intentionally avoiding questions. We are just trying to take a good selection of them, and then we open up to chat. So if you're in chat and you've got a question you desperately need asking, then recruit all your buddies to spam it to us so we can't miss it, and then we'll get to that as well. But there was a question about music in ghost mode, and that was never intended. That's it's by design that it's not there, because the way that the soundtrack works in Miami is built for the Miami mission. It's not necessarily built for ghost mode, of how the drama in ghost mode can just change. So it was an intentional decision not to put music into ghost mode, and there's no plans for it to be there either. Other questions coming in?
Multipride has a good question.
Okay. I actually have that here as well.
Okay.
I think.
But yeah.
So we can take, maybe you can take that one. I mean, you know the answer. So.
Does the gold edition content, like the expansion pass, conclude after the DLC drop here from Haven Island? Yes. It's the final last.
Yep. So if you're waiting for the expansion pass to be finished, or you know people that haven't played the expansion pass, now's the time to tell them, hey, here's exactly what you get. Exactly. We also updated the descriptions, or we will very shortly update the descriptions on the stores, so it tells you, hey, expansion pass includes the bank, the resort, this DLC pack, this DLC pack, this suit, this special assignment.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, that's a shit ton of content.
That's a lot of content.
Not a lot of money.
Cool stuff.
Yes. So
is sunscreen required for Haven Island? No. Go in, but be careful.
But if you're in the real world, wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
If I had one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it.
Yeah, always.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2019.
Yeah, especially if you're bold.
Especially if you're bold. More questions coming through. We'll go hot for another 5 minutes on questions. So shoot at this. I'll look at what I've got here. So I've got community escalations. Cutty asked on Discord and a few other places about community escalations. So we already have in the game one community escalation from Big Mooney, who we invited into the studio before the launch of the game to sort of create his own escalation. We had the ambition of creating lots of them, but we currently only have one other ongoing escalation, which the team want to put the finishing touches on. There's no guarantee though that it will get added, but one way or another we'll confirm soon whether that will be coming into the game or not. But I think it's important to say that as a concept, community escalations and having our community involved more directly in creating content for the game, including contracts mode, is very important for us, and it's definitely something that we'll be doing more with. That's where we are with community escalations. Hope that answers the question. Yeah. Anything else coming through?
Someone is asking if we can reduce the game size. Sorry.
Well, I mean, the tricky thing is if you've got Legacy Pack, then it's almost 2 games in one.
Yeah.
So Hitman 2 by itself is not that big.
No. Not compared to, I mean, yeah.
Compared to some games, it also gets bigger with the
with all the content.
The expansion pass content as well. Yeah. So if you've got Legacy Pack and expansion pack, then yes, it's gonna get up. But as far as I know, no, there's no way. Well, I mean, there's ways, maybe. I know we did it with Hitman 1, where we sort of, there's a way of releasing a patch that releases the file size. I don't think that's planned for Hitman 2. Not that I know of, at least.
People also, there's one asking what we had for lunch. Butter chicken.
We mentioned that already.
Yeah, I know.
We know we're going to get asked it, so we always make sure to
try to
put it in somewhere.
That question before.
It's a famous question. What did you get for lunch?
The chat is really active. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Okay, I have 2 here that I want to touch on.
Go.
I think that will be good for people to know.
I'll find a good one, yeah.
So, there was Agent 47, and then like 47 repeated many times. I don't know how many, but I just sort of hammered it. So it's like 47, 47, 47, 47, 47. This was on Reddit. Talked about the Tuatara unlock, which is currently a sniper rifle that is only available in Ghost mode right now. And I assume they want it in other locations, and I think that's coming soon. So you should stay tuned to future live streams about that, if that's coming in. And the other thing is Niobium on Hitman Forum asks in all caps and with a clap emoji between each word, where is my sedative syringe? So I talked to Dr. Dochia Borsa about it, and he's considering making it an unlock, but he hasn't confirmed yet whether that's possible. So maybe it will be an unlock, maybe not. We're waiting on word from the doctor. More questions.
Yes.
More questions. A few more minutes of questions. Let's go.
Photo mode for console, please.
Photo mode would be cool. No plans for Hitman 2 to do that. Thank you for the question, though.
Yeah.
Question, and I also have this I hear about more options for contracts mode.
Yeah, we have. There's a lot of contracts mode questions. Yeah. Sorry.
So people are. Yeah, this is the common question. So this is a really good question from Kronos914. Talks about adding new contracts options like in escalations. Yeah. Not for Hitman 2, but it's something that we saw the feedback from and would like to add. It just is a bigger task than. It's not that easy as it sounds. Not converting, but sort of putting the two together and making it work, and also making sure that it works properly is a big task. So it's not on the roadmap for Hitman 2 at all.
No.
Nope.
Was the Alan? Please add more details planned for the bank briefing video. Was it on purpose?
I mean, you would have to ask the briefing guys, but I would not be surprised if you frame by frame all of the briefings.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They have a good time.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Scrolling through. Can we have sandboxes for Comic-Con, a cruise ship, and a submarine for a very claustrophobic? I mean, level suggestions are... How are we supposed to answer that? I can't say yes, I can't say no. That's very difficult to answer. What else can we see?
No worries, Kronos.
Any chance of seeing an open world where you would have your own base of operations filled with stuff like new weapons, armor stands? I mean, potentially yes. I think when you say open world, it's more like, open world. No, let's be clear. But in terms of having a place where you have all your weapons out, I think that would be cool. I know Blood Money had it. A lot of people like it. The hideout was cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Someone asks about a sneak peek for October roadmap.
Come on.
We just gave you
the September roadmap. Piece by piece. We gave it you yesterday if you were quick. So I'm seeing people ask about more exits for contracts mode in Hawke's Bay.
Yeah.
It's not on the plan, I don't think.
But it's nice with the feedback, and we can.
But I know. More options is always better. I think that's fair to say. That's what we always get told, right? Can we do this? Can we do that? I want to do this. People don't want things to be taken away. But yeah. Hawke's Bay tactical suit unlock. Confirmed coming, not confirmed when. Find out soon. It's happening.
Let's take one more last question. Last question.
Okay, one more question each. Pick your question. Okay. Go to the very bottom. So spam now.
Yeah.
Spam now if you want a question. Then we'll take one more question.
Options for suits. That would be cool.
Is that your question?
No, that's what he's
No, I don't mean take the last one. I mean let's go to the very bottom.
Oh, okay.
So all people's okay. That bottom. So everyone now has the chance. So I'm just sort of buying for time. So people see now. Look now. See everyone goes crazy.
Okay.
Now you've got to try and pick a question out of that quick, and then I'll do one. Then we're done. One more question each.
Will there be an expansion pass 2? Not likely.
Okay, you're taking the easy questions. Give me the hard questions. What's going to happen is people are going to say, "Oh, they don't answer the serious questions." But okay, this is one that I see. I think it's on Pointy, and I've seen other people talk about it. About a public tracker of issues would be cool. Discord does it, and it makes these things more transparent. And then our window's too short. Transparent, I think it says. It's something that we've considered. It's something that I've thought about. My paper's blowing around. It's something that I've thought about. Something I've considered. But the wheels are sort of still in the station on that. How we would do it, how often we would update it, who updates it, how the team feed into it. I'm sort of jamming on those ideas. But I see value in it. I hope that you can also see from some of the conversations we had today that we'll talk about these things. We are trying to be as open and transparent as we can. And generally there's nothing that we're trying to hide. Not really. So, yes. Yes. Wow, there's all sorts of questions. Loadouts for ICA facility. Loadouts for So there's a question from Dutch in Minecraft, which is basically loadouts for ICA facility written about 100 times.
So do you think he would like loadouts for the ICA facility?
Yes. Oh. No, that's not happening.
No.
One of the general things that I think it's safe to assume is that going back into Hitman 1 too deeply and changing and making like big changes, things like that, is not something that we're going to do. It's the amount of time that it would take to sort of make the change, but not only that, but also QA it and make it work, and the potential risk of more issues coming out of it and snowballing and make it longer to fix is not one that's currently worth taking for us. No. It's a risk to go back and do these things, and we don't want to give ourselves more work.
No.
Right.
Good. There's a lot of questions.
Questions are done. The laptop is dead.
Closed.
Power save. Next episode of IOI Monthly, Clemens.
Yes.
What is happening with it? When is it? When can people expect it? Talk about it now.
IOI Monthly episode 7.
Yes.
Is
lucky number 7.
The 23rd?
Yes.
Monday the 23rd?
Yes.
September.
Yes.
And we're going deep into the Haven Island mission.
Yes.
Resort.
Yes.
And we're going to the Maldives, and we're going to have a developer with us. I'm going to be the chair, and Travis will take the wheel, and we will drive through and see what's happening and what you can look forward to in the mission without spoiling too much.
No, not too much, but it will be the day before.
The day before. So we will show way more. Today we only show pictures and a little bit in the roadmap trailer, but we will show way more.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the location. Some of the opportunities there.
Yes.
What you can do. We'll talk about...
the targets, maybe?
The targets, for sure. We'll talk about some of the unlocks that you can earn.
Yes.
We'll talk about some of the mastery.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
we'll show you a little round as well. I think we'll do something fun.
Maybe we'll find some either a trailer. There will also be a lot more information coming, either in forms of trailers, blog posts, screenshots, everything. Cool stuff.
So you don't want to miss out. It's 4 p.m. CST.
Yep, that's the plan.
Same time as today, Monday the 23rd. It's going to be with maybe the guess is going to be a fan favorite, but you'll have to wait and see.
Yep, and maybe more Meet the Team as well.
Exactly. Hopefully.
Yeah. So we'll see how that works time-wise. We often go overtime, so thank you for sticking with us. If you've watched on Twitch, thank you for joining us. If you've watched on Mixer, thank you as well. And if you're watching for the first time on Twitter, now is the time to spam your screen and give us all the little heart things that pop up on the side of the screen. Yeah. If you don't know what Periscope and live streaming on Twitter is, pay no attention to that. But if you are one of the almost 1,000 people, hello, thank you, spam the button now.
We much appreciate
I don't know if it gives us stuff, but
have no idea.
Our boss will be glad that we can say we got 4 million stars on Twitter. Yay! Yeah. So that'll be good for us. So as you said, next episode is 23rd.
Yeah, in about 2 weeks' time, we will have a very cool live stream planned, and it's going to be grand.
Yeah, so we'll see you there. Until then, I was going to say have a great weekend, but it's not Friday, it's Monday. Have a great week.
It's not Monday today.
It's Friday?
It's Friday, dude.
It is Friday.
Yeah, I'm going home now.
Yeah, which one of us is ill? Not you. Cool. All right.
So have a nice weekend, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. See ya.
See you guys.